If you notice here, it's kind of a beautiful backdrop. We got just a little bit of snow last night. And if you look at this old square body, I just have too much fun with this truck. Now, it's not my dad's favorite truck in the yard, that's for sure, because it has a bow tie on instead of a Ford Oval. But hey, let's make the most of it. Over the years, we've just had a lot of fun with the truck. It's been parts runner many, many, many times. Oh man, it's just, we have way too much fun with it.
Wow. Holy crap.
Well, you know, not every plan goes as planned, right? Like, sometimes. Yeah, it's crazy when you see how high it goes. Like, watching it in real life, it was just like, are you kidding me? Yeah, great. You can see what happened. The truck rolls back just a little bit.
Yeah. Did you not have it blocked?
I didn't have it. No, we were just more of it's my fault than anything. I didn't have it. I didn't probably have it as secure as I should have. I knew I didn't have the best bite on the front frame, but we were just more playing around with it, just going up and down, trying to figure out like what would be like the ideal ride height.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you were just playing around with suspension height, not
yep.
lifting it up to work under it.
Yep.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, and then all of a
Because
sudden,
you're actually pretty safety conscious.
yes,
Yeah.
No, it's just one of those fun things. Like we were just kind of dorking around because it's like we got the back axle in, and then so it's like, all right, where's the happy medium? Where's like the picture perfect ideal ride height? I lifted a little higher than I did the last time, and I was walking around to take a look at it.
Okay.
That's what all of a sudden I knew. All of a sudden I heard it like creep back, and I was like, oh no! And then I see the jack kind of do this, so they go out. And I'm like, wow. What's really funny, if you see how high I jump in the video, it's like, oh shit. All right. Because like it doesn't take much to figure. Like you don't have to be a rocket science when it comes to physics to be like. Couple 100-pound tool goes like 2-3 feet in the air.
Yeah, wow.
It's a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
Here we are, instead of the shop, we're in the house because everybody is gone. We survived another holiday season. I hope you guys all survived another holiday season. Hopefully you had good memories with your family.
Yeah, good-ish.
Good-ish.
We just go for middle of the road.
If the bar's here, there's no letdown, right? Or it takes a lot more to let you down.
Yep.
No, I hope everyone had a good holiday season here as we do the first major one, Thanksgiving. Now we got a couple weeks to recover. Then we got Christmas.
And just do it all over again.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a warm-up practice run.
Up here in Minnesota, we got hit with not only the holidays, but then also we got ahead of like not a bad snowstorm, but enough of one of those storms that made travel a little more challenging.
Yeah, and we gotta definitely plow everything today, right?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna go do now. That's why we're filming in the house, because it's like, it's just easier right now. Absolutely easier.
Tell us about this project you got going on now.
Well, earlier this week was my birthday. Well, it officially happened. It officially happened. I walked out the back door of the house and, hey, I'm 41 today. Well, trying to make the most of it. My goal this year is, if you look right there, you see that old square body Chevy. That is a 1984 K20 with a 4-speed and a small block 400 in it. And the goal today is, let's see if we can put a lift kit in it. Well, you know, we've been on this kick of like cleaning up things and getting rid of some stuff. Well, I bought this truck in 2020 from a local farmer who was retiring, and I've absolutely loved the truck. That same year, back in 2020, when the COVID was breaking out, I actually bought a lift kit. But now the problem was the truck was never a big enough priority for us to take the time to get it in.
Yep.
It was always one of those things like, hey, if we had time, it'd be fun to put that lift kit in.
Yeah.
Well, we finished up fall early, and like in my head, I was just thinking, I'm like, what is something simple that we can do just to kind of have some fun with, but yet not be like a 2-month project?
Yeah.
And I was like, lift kit, we should have that in a day or two, right? So the problem though is, if you notice, the truck sits really low. I'm gonna put it up here against an old highboy, and it'll give you a good example of how low the truck actually sits. And so we just kind of wanted to make her stand out a little bit more. So we're gonna see if we can't get the leaf springs in it, get the 285s underneath it, and make her sit a little higher. Because why not, right? Why not? It's more than a day or two. But it's not bad. It's not bad. Okay.
And so what was your goal for this truck? Like, what's the look that you're going for?
There's so many different degrees of like lift kits. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to 40s and do like
because
super
you're not
swampers?
a kid anymore, right?
No.
Yeah. Do you want kind of a classic look still, or did you want it to look like, it's been jacked up a little bit?
I wanted just to like, so my goal with a lot of stuff, like when we're doing something like this, is more that like it just like fits in. Like, it's not too high, but it's also not too low. Like, you know your brother. Like, I'm a pretty secure male when it comes to most male idiotic categories of life, right?
Yeah.
But when you drove this truck, it sat so low. It was sitting on 235s, and it was a K20. We should back up. It's a 1984 K20 Chevy, which means it's a 3/4 ton 4x4. The
Because
4-speed.
if I'm not mistaken, the C10s were 2-wheel drive and the K20s were 4-wheel drive.
I
or no?
believe so, but I'm not
Okay.
the biggest Chevy guy.
Okay,
that,
got
you
it.
know.
Yeah.
I just bought this years ago because it was an awesome truck. It was cool looking. It was black, and knew like it kind of annoyed Dad.
Bringing a Chevy.
I
back to
still
the farm.
remember, yeah, how it went that day. This farmer had an end up for sale, and I was over there looking at that. And then we were walking in his shed to show me other stuff for sale. And we drove by his old square body here, and I was like, "Hey, so what's the story with that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's for sale too." And I thought he was going to want big money, and he rattled off a number. And in my head, I was like, "Sold."
Yeah.
So the only downside with this truck is all these years is it sat like really low. It sat about the same height as a 2-wheel drive, like
Yeah.
just 1500, which isn't a bad thing. It's just when you know, like, you're like, hey, we can make this look a little cooler because all K series just look a little better jacked up.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So like I said, getting back to it, I thought I was a secure male, and then I'd always drive it to go get parts, and then when you'd see like the F-150 windows like higher than your
got it.
K20, it's like,
Yeah.
we gotta fix this. Then the other thing was always like, I own the parts to fix this. Why haven't I fixed this
Yeah.
yet? When we wrapped up fall and we had this little bit of window before the holidays, I was just looking around like, hey, what's something simple we could work on? And I was like, hey, let's do this lift kit. Well, once you know, morning of my birthday, we wake up, we get snow. Yep, there we are trying to clean up. In my head, I'm like, why didn't I put this in the shop the night before? We
Yep.
should have. It made the day easier.
Right.
But anyways, we get the truck in the shop. We start digging up the lift kit, and we knew. So that was the day before Thanksgiving, and we knew that it was a long shot to get some of the parts I ordered earlier in the week here, because all of a sudden my email is just full with delayed notifications on shipping.
Because of the snow
Yep.
and probably the holiday too. Probably.
I think a
together.
little bit of everything,
Yeah.
yeah. I wasn't overly mad. It was just more like when you just see it and you're like, oh, crap. We started with the rear end because we knew that was going to be a little bit easier. All right, so Wednesday we get the truck in. We start doing the basics. We start jacking it up, figuring out what we got to do. We figured let's start on the rear end first because that's usually a little easier. Now, what's funny is like growing up, like the whole time I'm doing this project, it just reminds me as a kid. Because do you remember what Dad did? As a kid, we had a bunch of F-150s. They were half tons. But then being farmers and like that era, we'd always overload them.
Yeah, beef up the leaf springs.
Yeah,
in the
so
back.
the
Yep.
amount of F-150s that Dad like put leaf springs in,
Yep.
and then years later, I was doing it to 350s because we were trying to get the truck to handle the load a little
Yeah.
better. And so usually the rear springs usually are not too bad. So we figured let's start there. We start jacking the truck up, get the axle removed, start getting the leaf springs out. Took me a little while. When you haven't done this stuff for a while, there's two big challenges with this. The truck is a Minnesota truck, but it's not overly rusty, but it's still a Minnesota truck, which means it's 40 years old. It's seen some winters, and so nothing's going to come apart too awesome or too easy.
Yeah.
So that was challenge number one. Challenge number two is it's just enough different, and I've never done one of these for this era that you're
yeah,
like kind of
yeah.
sitting there like, does that look right?
Yeah.
And then the other issue is I bought this lift kit used on Marketplace.
Oh,
and
I didn't know that.
If there's one thing I'm going to tell you, don't buy your lift kit used on Marketplace. Now, for today, we're going to write it off that I'm helping to recycle and reduce and reuse.
Yes, no, it's great.
And it's
Yep.
going to be awesome. But like, oh my gosh, on Wednesday I noticed like, hey, the front springs don't have bushings in the one hole.
Oh.
So we had to order those parts.
Yep.
Our U-bolts, none of them were the right length. I'm kind of questioning if the rear springs weren't different than the front springs, but everything I'm measuring.
Guys, what type of lift kit is this one?
So what it is it's going to have 4 new leaf springs all the way around it,
Okay.
and then it has a little bit bigger spacing blocks on the back. It
Okay.
should be a 4-inch. It should be a 4-inch suspension lift, but just the tires going from 235s to 285s also picked up about 2 inches. It's actually like I walked around the truck when we got started, and I was writing down numbers on or measuring like the bumper heights. And I was writing them down with an ink pen on all 4 corners, so we kind of know.
Cool.
Well, when we got the rear end in place and dropped it on the ground, we were up over 6 inches. And
Okay.
so it's like, okay, our 4-inch lift's kind of turning into just a 6-inch with
Yeah.
the tires and everything.
Cool.
But it really has a nice look.
Yeah.
So
And did you have the wheels already? Or-
yeah, so going back to it, what actually made the lift kit worth it was the guy had the wheels and tires. If I
Oh,
remember,
you bought it all together.
Bought it all together.
Oh, okay.
I knew, so we had the drop down pitman arm, which was great, and then we had the leaf springs. But I knew like we were gonna need some U-bolts. There were some there, but we found out those were all wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of like some of that stuff. Like, yep. So if anyone's doing this on their own, go back to work, make a little more money, go buy a complete kit. What's really tough is we were looking at 4-inch kits for like $750 to $1,000, depending on what was in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would go that direction. But you know, hey, I like the idea. We're saving the planet. We're cleaning up the farm.
Good.
It's parts that were no longer laying around.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, so our Project Chevy's been going good, but we've been waiting for a pile of parts to show up. And if you look right here, the UPS man just showed up. Right, we are walking up to get parts because I'm excited. Hopefully, the main thing that we need right now is some U-bolts, because we got the new leaf springs in. We got the new but used leaf springs in, and they weren't too bad. It fought us a little bit, but not too bad. And now we just need the U-bolts. Hopefully that all showed up. Hopefully it all showed up, but just at a bare minimum, hopefully the U-bolts showed up. There should be shocks, hopefully, and that should be our U-bolts. Hopefully. All right. Yeah, go ahead and open them. Okay. She looks like better quality than we had.
Definitely long.
Yeah. Oh, they're supposed to be 12 inches. Pictures kind of made them look like they were threaded a little more. That's normal. So what we should probably do, see if we can't tap one in from the bottom. It'll probably spread them. Okay. So where we're at right now is we got the rear leaf springs in, and we got that all buttoned up. The U-bolts finally showed up for it, and we were able to to button all that up, set it on the ground, and then we were able to put the bigger tires on it. So it was kind of neat from like the cab back. We kind of got to look at what it was, you know, what would this, or we kind of got an idea of what this was going to look like when it was done.
Yeah.
From the front end forward, it was like, okay, this is why we're doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go.
You know, hopefully we can get the front end. Oh, it's gonna have a nice look though. Depending on what the front leaf springs do, we can always get a little, if we want to drop it down, all we gotta do is get little smaller back plots. You know, we don't gotta go through and take out leaf springs again. But I think in a weird way, depending on where the front end gets put, I think she's gonna look pretty good.
So you like to take on a birthday project every year, and it's hard to believe that this time, last year, you guys were just starting the 50/20 project.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what got this all started. Okay, we
Yeah.
gotta back up just a little bit.
No, go for
So when your birthday is relatively close to a major family holiday,
Yeah.
it always gets tucked into that holiday, right?
Yes.
Which isn't a bad thing. But up to this point, up to last year, like you've heard me say in the past, like, I don't really need to celebrate my birthday. It doesn't
Yeah.
go that fun. Like it does.
Yeah.
It always turns into something it wasn't
Yeah.
supposed to, right? Well, then last year, yeah, we dove into this 50/20 project. When I turned 40, it was absolutely awesome. This year, my goal was not to take on as massive of a project. And trust me, this K20 should not be
Yes.
that
No,
massive
no.
of a project.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's what kind of got started. I was like, hey, this was a lot of fun. And then that's
Yeah.
where, and this year rolling into it, I'm like, hey, we got everything done. The combines are put away. We're caught up on spreading. What's going to be kind of a fun project. And actually, that was the one thing from the time we started this project, from the time we got the trucks running outside to push in the shop, Trevor and Corbin were helping with it nonstop.
Yeah,
Trevor ripped the
that's
front
so
bumper
fun.
off.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, and that was kind
That
of
was a
like my
great
goal.
project for them to be able to help with.
Yeah, and that was
not
kind
the
of
same
my
spot
goal.
for it is it?
How do we kind of integrate some of the other people around here and just like, hey, come on, help? Because
Yeah.
you know, you see, it's one thing when the project's done to see it, but it's another thing when you look at those, especially like vehicles, because you see them all the time. Like when you're like, hey, I remember, like I helped with that or this or
Yeah.
you know. So that was kind of my goal. Is like, how do we integrate some of these younger guys into it so they can kind of help with it and have those memories? And so it was really kind of neat. And that 50/20 was just.
Well, we'll link
Oh.
to the playlist for the 50/20. I mean, that was a cool project, but also glad to be on this side of it, right?
That one was so even
That's like a once every few years kind of project.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
It was a challenge that Stretch did, and actually it was funny because Friday morning I was the first person to the shop, and I was just like, all right, we got to keep moving on the Chevy. So it's kind of the same mindset I had last year with 5020. It was like, we got to keep moving. We can't stop because otherwise it's like you're going to lose the momentum, and then something else is going to pop up.
Stuff gets piled on top of it.
It's going to get pushed off to the side. Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. You know, if that happens, it's not the end of the world.
No.
But if right now,
keep it moving.
just keep moving.
Yep. All right, so you guys will get that wrapped up this week. What
We're
else
hoping.
is
We
on the
got
horizon?
like the problem we have with this project is the same as every project. You start walking around the Chevy and you're like, well, we can fix that. We can fix that. We can fix that.
Yes, it's where you stop now.
Yeah, kind of. Well, and it's also kind of it just gets better.
Yeah.
Hopefully the goal right now, we got the rear axle all done. Up this upcoming week, we're waiting for some more parts, but the goal is to button up the front axle. Where I'm at right now is I'm working on the dreaded pitman arm, trying to get that apart, and we are actually going to be probably pulling the axle out to get at that. But how's your day going? I like the Sporty Edition. It sucks when you keep doing this, don't it?
Yeah, and so I can wear this
Yep.
grinder.
Cutting U-bolts?
Bushing.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. We got to do that, but then also, once you know it, like last night, we were kind of looking at the lack of radio. So from the time we bought the truck, the farmer told me, he's like, well, maybe you can do something better with the radio because it's never had a working radio.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, let's fix that. And then, you know, what do we need for speakers? Because those are going to be all old.
Yeah.
And then, once you know it, Pyle, audio company, has a 50% off sale, and there's a few little amplifiers that I know I could tuck underneath the dash. So it's kind of that creep effect, but hopefully we'll get some audio equipment here too, and then
that's fun.
The other thing is Dad and Corbin are going to start working on cutting the bumper apart, and not anything crazy, but just try to freshen up the look of the front bumper.
Okay.
It has the plow mounts on it, which I like, but then the back bumper, the goal is to because now all of a sudden the truck's 6.5 inches higher. The bumper's kind of not in the right spot, and so we want to just fine tune some of that stuff. So we're gonna keep plugging away into it, and the end result should be really good. Just
that's awesome.
today, it's one of those things where it's like,
Yeah,
crap,
you're in
we
the
gotta
messy
keep
middle
going.
of it.
Yeah, I still love that saying, man.
Yep.
There's so much truth to it, right? But you know, you just got to keep powering
You gotta
through.
keep powering
Heck
through.
yeah.
Yep.
Once again, I just want to say thank you for all the birthday wishes you guys sent, and that was awesome. It was a huge surprise to me. It's so cool. If you have any fun comments and maybe some family stories of your
How was your
holidays,
Thanksgiving?
feel free, throw them in the comments section. If you had a family member do something that starts with the words, "You'll never believe this," leave it in the comment section because, it's a lot of fun. It is absolutely a lot of fun. All right, so now we made it through. As a mom, you made it through Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the kitchen needs to be cleaned up a little bit, so you go keep working on your truck and I'll get the kitchen cleaned up.